Hey guys, welcome back. JazzPianoLessons.online, day 6 of our Barry Harris challenge, diminished 6th scale practice challenge. Hey, this is where I think it gets really, really exciting. It's been good so far already. I like the 6th going to the diminished, 6th going to the diminished. That's kind of cool. Well, it's not just a little bit cool, it's great. But this is where I really, really like what's going on here, okay? So we're going to do it in an axis of a 7th, an axis of a 3rd voicing. I mean, you could do it in another voicing if you want, axis of a 7th or open close voicing or whatever you want to do. You could even do a reposition if you want as well. Now it's all written out for you, so I'm just going to do the C major scale and talk a little bit about what is actually going on as well. All right, so again, we're just going to start with our C major 7 chord, and every time we play the G, we're just going to go to A flat next, all right? Okay, so you just keep going up. So you're just going to, because we're in the key of C, white notes follow the white notes, right? Except when it's G, we're going to go to A flat, all right? So my C is going to go to D, the G is going to go to the A flat, B will go up to C, to F, right? So you can see that with the notation there, all right? We get that sound there. This is a great kind of sound, isn't it? I just think it sounds awesome. All right, here's the sounds. Now let me talk you through what's happening there in those chords. First one, of course, is just a major 7, all right? So nothing spectacular about that. I mean, but I love major 7 chords. They're amazing. All right. The second chord is really, you know, it's a D minor 7 flat 5, or a D half diminished is the other name for it. But in some ways, you can kind of think of every one of these chords. So, well, let me back up. First chord, third chord, so alternating. There's some kind of a C chord still. You know how before it was like C6, diminished C6, diminished C6. This is where it's going to be a little bit more interesting. It's some kind of different version of C, okay, but it's some kind of a major C, right? So if I just do the 1, the 3, the 5, you know, chords, so we're starting off major 7, right? When we go here, it's kind of like a, you know, it's almost the so what chords, right? Isn't it? You know, it's built on fourths, but they're all notes that work in the key of C, all right? So they kind of, it's got like a C kind of sound. It's a little bit ambiguous because they're all the intervals are made out of fourths, right? So we're going into that. Sounds so cool, right? Now, if I skip another chord, go to the next one. We've got a similar kind of thing going on, and we almost get like a sus kind of C sound, right? All right. And then we move on, and then we get this, if I skip it again, we get a minor, like an A minor with a major 7 kind of sound. All right, so it's still kind of in that kind of A minor-y C kind of feel, and then the next chord, of course, is our last chord. Okay, so we're back to just the C major 7. So they're kind of C-ish, right? The other chords, so I'll just kind of point to them here. This one here, this guy. So chord 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, and I guess it'd be 8, wouldn't it? 2, 4, 6, yeah, and 8. 2, 4, 6, and 8. I think of it anyway as some kind of a dominant chord. Okay, so it's like we're going from major, dominant, major, dominant, major, dominant, which is kind of what we were doing before. We were doing major 6 and then a diminished chord, or a 7 flat 9 chord, okay? If you added that bass note in. So it's like doing 1, 5, 1, 5. We're kind of doing the same thing here. All right, now what could this be? This is D, obviously this is the notes of D minor 7 flat 5, which is a normal 2 chord in a minor key. So that kind of works as it is, right? But have a look at the D and the A flat, or if you want to think D and G sharp, you could as well. That is the 3 and 7 of B flat 7, or of E7, okay? So B flat 7 or E7, right? And they're a tritone away from each other, right? if you think of it as a B flat 7, all right, then this is a 9 and a 5. Okay, if you think of it as an E7, then this is going to be, it's more of an altered chord, right? So this is, the C is going to be a sharp 5 and the F will be a flat 9. Okay, so now they're related, they're all related. So with dominant, this is where it gets really interesting music theory-wise, right? Now, if you don't understand all of this, it's fine. just chill, try and play it and enjoy the chords that come up, enjoy the sounds that happen, right? But if you're like me and you want to know what's going on, then hopefully this is for you. If not, just fast forward, right, to the other bits, right? So if you have a dominant chord, the diminished notes that go along with that, it's a little bit hard for me to explain. Maybe I don't have the language properly to talk about. Let me just show. G7, right? Obviously, basic dominant chord in the key of C, all right? There's our G7, okay? Now, if G7 is related to B flat 7, which is, and related to D flat 7 or C sharp 7 and E7, okay? All right, let me show you how. G7, obviously that's, you know, fine. If I go to a B flat 7, there's a flat 9, there's a sharp 9. These other notes belong to the key of G. So you can kind of, you know, it's not weird to have some of those other notes in there. All right, this guy here is a tritone substitute away, right? So, right, it literally has the same guide tones, the same 3 and 7, except it reverses to 7 and 3, okay? So here, the B is my 3, the F is the 7. If I do it this way, the B is the 7, the F is the 3. So the very important notes, which are the guide tones, the 3 and 7, just swap over, but they're still the same one. So it really functions exactly the same way. So what I'm saying is that you can add, so they're interesting, they're related. So, and the way that I normally typically use it is I'll play a G chord and I'll add a B flat triad over the top, something like that. Or I'll play a G chord and add or I'll play the G chord and play the notes of the D flat. Or I'll play the G chord and you know, play the 7 there, but I'll add in the E chord on top because it's related. All right, so that's how I kind of normally use it. Now, that's a lot of information to kind of say that this is sort of happening here on every second chord, okay? So you can think of that as a B flat chord or an E chord, which of course is related to G, okay? 1 5 1 5 1 5 1 5. You're going to see how that happens a lot here, right? 1 5 1 with that kind of fourths, kind of, you know, built with perfect fourth sounds. Here is, I see a G7 here, right? 7 and 3 of that. 13, flat 9. Okay. Of course, you could probably see an E chord there as well with a flat 9 as well. You can see how it's all related. Okay. Okay. So it's kind of again that dominant chord. All right. Back to a major chord. All right. Here we go. Dominant chord again. For me, I'm thinking B flat with a flattened 9 there, which again is related to this guy, the G chord, right? You can see, I mean, it's a little bit dissonant, but it still works, right? Okay, and then what are we going on to next? To the A minor with the major 7, all right? To the B half diminished chord, or a G9, right? And then back to the C. So that's kind of what's going on in every single 1. Now to play that quickly is a little bit more difficult because it's not quite straightforward. It's not just kind of like, okay, root position this, you know, like it takes a little bit more effort. But just keep remembering as you're playing them, the G follows G is followed by A flat, and that should help you as you go. Coming down, of course, you've got to think the A to the A flat, okay, and then just keep doing it that way. And then that should help you get through. And they're cool. There's some really nice sounds in there, you know, through there. And if you do that with every key, you'll have a lot of fun. Of course, I've written it out for you. Try and do it without it, but have a go at that. I'd love to know how you're going now that you're at day 6, and we've looked at quite a bunch of stuff. This is probably the hardest one with the chords, so don't get too stressed out if this isn't making sense. Tomorrow we're looking at the scale and and different ways to play the scale, and then the day after, different ways to play the arpeggio of it. Now the arpeggio is going to reinforce your understanding of the chords anyway, okay, as well as give you something to play melodically, you know, so it can help with your improvisations. All right, guys, I will see you again soon. All the best, and yeah, let me know how you're going, and I love to have a bit of a chat online. And thanks for joining me. Good on you. Bye.